Hey, there we go. Welcome back. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be where you are. Welcome back to the live stream. My name is Jeff Fritz. Today is September 18th, 2019, and we're going to write a little bit of code today. How's it going there, chat room? Hello, hello. Let me check my volume levels here. It's so good to see you. Look at all the friends we have here already. Oh my gosh. And Jake.
Fix to Jake 14 just resubscribed for 3 months. Good morning.
Good morning indeed. Thank you so much. Good to see you, Jake. I appreciate the sub. I also saw Stelzy snuck in there with the sub right off the bat. 11 months in a row. Thank you so much for those. And we'll make donations to Coder Dojo. Thank you so much for that. Let me say hello to everybody in the chat room there. Copper Beardy. Hello, hello. Copper Beardy's been getting going there on his own stream and on Discord. Really great stuff that I'm watching. Keeping an eye on. I've been busy this week. That's why I had to take off yesterday, because I'm getting ready for next week. I've got 2 conferences next week. Let me get back to that in a minute here. I want to make sure I finish saying hello to everybody. Hugo, good to see you. D.D. Walsh.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
Greetings, my excellent friend. So good to see you. Alethea Island is here. Black Vulcan, Welsh Ronaldo. Good morning to Fritz and Friends. Good morning to all of you. Janesca with the positive vibes. Sean of the Dev. Webface CA. Good morning. Lane Ling. Oh my goodness. Source Scoot. How's it going there? Shy Sharp. Svava with the mischief. Mischief? Wait do you see the mischief we're going to get into today. It's going to be amazing. Hugo with the compliment on my cap, thank you. I decided to go with a Microsoft hat this morning, even though it's got a little bit of the green screen fading through it, because we're going to be working with Visual Studio, we'll be working with Blazor, and we had an update to both. In fact, I may be delaying here because I'm waiting for Visual Studio to finish installing. Ancient Coder
just resubscribed for 13 months. Good day, Fritz and Friends.
Good day to you. Thank you so much. It's great to see you here, Ancient Coder.
Totes my goats.
Totes my goats, indeed. Let's see. Let me keep looking here. Legendary Moo asks, .NET hello?
Lucky Nose 7 Evin just resubscribed for 4 months.
Lucky number 7. Thanks so much for that resub. 4 months. I appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to seeing you, my friend, next week at TwitchCon. Let me get to this question from Legendary Moo asking, will the sessions be recorded and where will they be stored? Yes, they will be recorded. They'll be available on the YouTube channel, I think it's the Microsoft Developer, or it's either going to be the Visual Studio YouTube channel or the Microsoft Developer YouTube channel. They've usually been on the Visual Studio channel. We'll let you know. C17
C17R just resubscribed for 11 months. Keep up the work, good sir.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for that. I appreciate the resub, and we'll make another donation. And let's see here. Oh my gosh. So .NET Conf sessions, they will be available. They will be over on a YouTube channel. Keep an ear open for an announcement on that. And you know what? Maybe we need to put a link on the .NET Conf website when it's over to the playlist over on YouTube, so that we can continue the good vibes going on there. That might be a good idea to do, to at least make it visible there. Go Blazers, says Gore and Hal. Indeed, we're going to have some fun with Blazer today. Thanks so much, Fixter Jake. Super excited for .NET Conf. Ultra Mark. Andy Schwum. Andy, so good to see you. Thanks so much. Look, there's Andy right there, okay? He just arrived. Okay? No, he doesn't get any applause. No, none for him. Andy's getting set up. He's running a developer talk show on another service. It's not Twitch, but I hope you get a chance to check him out for information about there. Oh my gosh, so many folks here. They definitely do that, says D.D. Walsh. Yes, about the archiving of .NET Conf videos. Oh yes. Link in playlist would be awesome. Hugo, I'd like to see more than just a playlist. With YouTube, you can embed the playlist with a player. That might be really good to do on the .NET Conf website after the event, so you can see last year's event. Or maybe we can even do that because we have previous year's events there. It might make sense. I'll talk to our engineers, our crack engineering team at the .NET Conf underwater secret lair, and we'll see if we can make something happen there. Oh my gosh, look at all happening here. Here's some cash to buy some time. Thanks, Hugo. Thanks. I'm busy as all heck to try and get stuff. See, that didn't swear. Family-friendly channel. Legendary Moo, I have a number of people who won't be awake during the presentations and want to watch them later. So Legendary Moo, that's why day 3, the community day, we're running 24 hours straight of .NET Conf. You're going to have folks presenting from every time zone, from every continent. Not from every continent, people from every continent. We weren't able to get somebody with a live connection to Antarctica, but we got somebody who works in Antarctica, and they're broadcasting from a place just as cold. It's a little place we like to call Chicago. Fanny Reinders is here. How's it going there, Fanny? Fanny Reinders, the latest member of the Live Coders team. So good to see you. Make sure you check out, there you go. Make sure you check out his channel. He's doing some great stuff over there. And, of course, the Live Coders, you can click the link just below me here. Learn more about 80 people, 80 folks that are building code, writing applications, doing things with hardware and technology, teaching live on Twitch. Really cool stuff. Thanks, Ancient Coder, for that. Cracks at the underwater layer? No, we have a crack team at the underwater layer. We have a crack team, yes. Oh my gosh. Fixter Jake, any recommended study resources for a technical assessment? All my stuff so far has been non-technical interviews, phone screens, etc. And Fairy Wings, thanks so much for the host. I want to... Oh my gosh. I am all over the place here.
Just resubscribed for 5 months.
Thank you, Source Scoot. I appreciate that. Another one of the Live Coders. You definitely need to check them out as well. Okay, hang on. Resources for... I've got to pause the chat here because I want to make sure I answer this question for Fixter Jake. Resources for a technical assessment. Depends on what company you're talking to, what they're looking to assess. What I would say is when you talk to the employer, you're going to want to... Oh my gosh, and Michael Jolly...
The Michael Jolly just resubscribed for 10 months.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for that one. Appreciate that. And another donation to Coder Dojo. So when you talk to a company, when you talk to a potential employer about a technical assessment, you should be up and you should be well versed on the skills, the technologies that you've presented to them as these are what I know, these are what I'm well versed in. They're going to give you some sort of boundaries on, well, here's what we're looking for. We're going to give you, we're either going to give you a homework assignment where there's a open source project we want you to solve a problem in, or they're going to ask you a couple questions about that technology. Focus on being the best you in those technologies that you've represented that you know. It doesn't hurt to try and stretch a little and learn a little bit more, go into architecture or some other things and be well versed in those as well. But you're not going to know what they're going to ask you. They're going to tell you what the structure is. And be ready to respond to them to the best of your abilities. Don't try and study and learn more and learn something brand new, because you're going to get confused. You're going to misrepresent yourself. Be the best you in the technologies that you've told them you know. Let's see. There was a question here. Where to go? Oh, so Fairy Wings is hosting us. So let me ask you, chat room, a quick question about that. About our friend Fairy Wings hosting. She's getting started doing some classes on HTML, basic web knowledge from Khan Academy. Would watching and talking through with someone for new viewers, would that be something interesting to tune in and see somebody going through and doing the Khan Academy teachings here on Twitch? Let us know. I think that would be interesting for some new folks that are just coming into the developer community. Maybe for some folks that are in a beginner to intermediate level, to be able to discuss and relearn some things to solidify their current skill set. John Calloway says it sounds cool, and I trust John Calloway because he invented the tacos command. It's true. He did.
Totes my goats.
Totally. It was absolutely 100% John Calloway. I trust him. There they go. There goes the tacos now. Dee Dee Walsh. For sure that would be interesting, and she would send her niece to watch a stream like that. Very cool. Yes, Michael Jolly with 10 months in a row, and some of the Live Coders team is a little cracked. We are. Just a little bit. Hope the recruiter knows at least anything about the company wants to have. Yes. It's an online assessment to weed people out, so it's fairly general. Haven't had any direct contact with a recruiter yet. Yeah, okay, then if you're a student that's studied, you've done some programming, you should be in fine shape to get through an online assessment. Goran Howe's daughter would love to learn HTML, and she's 12 years old. Fantastic. I think it'd be interesting as an experienced dev. There are always new things to be introduced, and you can't keep up with all of them. Yeah, I think when we do have somebody who's coming into the technical community who wants to learn and they want to share that, if they do want to share it on Twitch, that's a great opportunity for more folks to learn. And as somebody who programs and does more advanced things, I'm more than happy to support and encourage that type of programming, video programming, not programming, and send folks that way. So, yeah, Fairy Wings is here. There we go. Is there a timeline for the classes? I have people I will refer also. You know what? Nothing else matters. Drop Fairy Wings a follow. Can we get a shout out for Fairy Wings? If the shout out's going to work, let's see if it works. And make sure that you follow her so that if and when she does decide to start these streaming of the Khan Academy classes, you can check that out. And I need to do this. Can you give me a second here? Let me do this. There we go. I'm going to throw a VIP on Fairy Wings there. That was long overdue. My apologies. That should have been there a while ago. Top of the morning, Super Viking. This is why Legendary Moo likes watching the intro to Visual Studio videos. Sometimes a new way of doing an old thing has been introduced. You might have seen a friendly face in those. Wish you had time to stream messing around with various projects on Twitch, classes, extra stuff on your schedule. Yeah, Jake, you're right. And the shout out didn't work again. It didn't work again. Okay, so I've got a couple things ahead of me here. This is what I want to do. No, it's not just exclamation point S. Let's do this. We need to get music playing. Let's fix that shout out bit before we get back into our ongoing project here, because that's annoying the heck out of me that doesn't work. You know what I mean?
You're about to get a serious beatdown.
You're about to get a serious beatdown there, Fritzbot. Thank you for the follow. Who's the new follower there? Daniel Martinez. Welcome. It's so good to meet you. And this happened overnight. 7,700 followers overnight. We crossed a 00 boundary. You know what that means? We're making a push to get to 8,000 followers before Dev Intersection. But every time we cross another 100 followers, we're going to give away another sticker pack. And a bunch of folks have received their sticker packs out there. I sent out 3 more Saturday I sent out 3 more. Those folks should be receiving them this week. let's set up and let's give away another one. Because if there's one thing I like doing, it's giving away stickers. You know what I mean? Oh, there's an update to the Lash tools here. Let me set that up here. While that's getting reconfigured, Super Viking has a weird question. Do I know anything about Microsoft Flight Simulator being developed? No, I don't know anything about that. They said there's going to be a lot of Azure cloud rendering. I don't know anything about that. I'm sorry, no. That sounds pretty cool. And yes, you're right, Sean of the Dev. You can never have too many stickers. Come on now, Lash Tools, finish installing. Let's go. Do the update. And there it goes. All right. Let's clear out these names, and I'm going to go over to my desktop. There it is. If you're in the chat room and you want to win a set of stickers, drop an exclamation point here in the chat room, and we'll put you into the raffle. Exclamation point here. We'll add you to the raffle. Yeah, absolutely. Give Fairy Wings a follow. She's almost at 10,000 followers. If you give her a follower, if she gets over that 10,000 boundary, if I know Fairy Wings, weird things are going to happen with unicorns, with rainbow poo, and other things. I don't know what, but trust me, you're going to want to throw a follow over there. And see, the shout-out's not working, Hugo. That's going to be the next thing we do here. We're going to fix that next. We will send stickers anywhere in the world. I've sent stickers to Europe. I've sent stickers to Russia. I've sent stickers to all over North America. Not a problem to send it anywhere. Thank you, Hugo, for the for the force push shout out there. Daniel says, thanks for the welcome. Greetings from Paraguay. Thank you so much, Daniel. I appreciate you joining us from Paraguay. It's great to see you. Thanks for the follows. Super Viking, love the childhood memories of flying little planes around Chicago. Yeah. With Flight Simulator. Lucky number 7 says, I can slip some stickers into his pockets next week. You got other things next week, my friend. So, Fairy knows what's coming next week. And for the folks from the Live Coders team that are going to be at TwitchCon. And it's going to be interesting. Oh, man. Terra, is that Terra Twitch? Welcome. Watching from Uruguay. Oh my gosh, I love seeing our South American friends tuned in. Thank you so much for joining us. It's compelling. It's interesting for me as a guy that's just here in the Philadelphia suburbs, east coast of the United States, able to reach and talk to folks that are all over. My gosh. Mischief is coming next week. Oh yes. Oh, you have no idea. Mischief is coming. Was that a little much with the echo? I don't know. All right, exclamation point here. We can get you in the sticker giveaway. And let me just take a quick peek over here. Oh my gosh, we're already at, that's a lot of followers already. For those who aren't going to TwitchCon 19, will there be a hashtag to follow so you can stalk people? Asks Svava. Hashtag stalk Fritz at TwitchCon 19. Is that a thing? Can we do that? Is that possible? It might be, maybe. Okay, we'll figure something out. Live Coders TC, maybe. It does seem kind of long for a hashtag. You're right, John. For those who aren't, Michael Jolly says in West Philadelphia. No, it was Philadelphia, born and raised. On the playground, I spent most of my days chilling out, maxing, relaxing after school, shooting some b-ball. No, anyway. All right. What do you say? We'll figure out a hashtag. We will work something out in the Live Coders Discord. Anyone else? Exclamation point here. Fixture Jake. Now, Fixture Jake, you already got a pack of stickers. You're going for the twofer? The twofer? Let's do this. What do you say? Let's give away some stickers. Here we go. Oh, I love that animation. There we go. How can you say rigged, C17? It's not even done yet. And we're going to send 2. Are you kidding, Jake? Are you kidding, Jake? Are you kidding? That's a twofer. See, I know because I just sent stickers to Jake. Just pick the name above his. With respect, Jake, do you mind if I re-roll? Since we just sent you some? Harcurious is saying to re-roll. Well, it's not your call. I'm asking Jake. Or yeah, that's fine. Okay. With respect, I'm gonna pop Jake out of here. All right, let's do this one more time. Exclamation point here if you're interested. Yeah, random my foot, right? All right. And the ticker sentiment and things are gone again. Oh my gosh, where'd they go? You're right. Oh my goodness. Let's fix that real quick. And then we'll hit the where'd it go? This one, that, and the sentiment. Why do they disappear like that on me? There we go. All right, one more time. Let's try this again. Still need to go check your mailbox. What? Should be there. The .NET random class. Actually, Super Viking, this is Adobe Air. So this is Flash doing this. The .NET Core. All right, Hugo, we'll come back to that in a second here. Yeah, that does explain it, doesn't it? Here we go. And Goran Hal, there we go. Congratulations, Goran Hal. You just won a pack of stickers. I'm going to throw you a Whisperer. So close, still rigged. Thanks, Sean. And I will. All right. There you go, Goran Hal. Congratulations. Dirty Bit-O cheat rigged? No. No. Always rigged. Always rigged. I see how this works. Thanks so much. All right. So there was an update to Visual Studio Preview, 16.3 Preview 4, and there is a release candidate version of the .NET CLI that was made available. If I run .NET Info here, this is now 3.0100 RC1. So this is a last patch before the final version of .NET Core 3 will be released on Monday next week during the keynote of .NET Conf. And the keynote's at, I think it's 8 a.m. Pacific time. You'll see that. So, it's good to see. We've got an update. We've got a new version of the .NET Core runtime. Had C17 won, they would have said, yes, see, it's rigged. I won. Maybe. Interesting that Flash isn't dead already, despite the effort of everybody except Adobe, says Stelzy. You're not wrong. Yeah. Pretty much any programmed random is not as random as you think, says Lucky Number 7. There's ways to make them random by randomly shuffling a certain number of times. And I think the number of times is something like half the size of the population. Right, so if you have a deck of 52 cards, if you shuffle it 26 times randomly, and then randomly choose one of them, then it's random. So because you've added enough randomness into the location of the 52 cards, that it becomes effectively random at that point. So, all right. So I have this version running. Let's go see if we can fix that Fritzbot real quick and get the shout out working. Figure out why it's not working. You know what I really want to do? You know what I should do here, chat room? I should write a unit test. Right? Write a unit test that triggers the shout out command, and not just go into the shout out command and actually make sure, oh, it says the shout out thing, but actually send it into the bot text processing and make sure that the shout out command is triggered. That way, yes, let Hugo write some tests So let me back up here. We were going to work on the Pixel bot right away, but I'm just annoyed with how the bot isn't responding properly. You know what I'm saying? I can be frustrated with that, can't I? Because when I look at here, right? Oh, it builds successfully. But it, right? Does it actually have tests that it's running that say, yes, it did the thing? I know, Nalaj. Not unit testing? Yes, unit testing. And, right, when I look at the tests here, what did it do? There we go. Right, it should, right, 42 tests, 39 passed, 3 skipped. It's like, okay, right? There's the test. I should have looked over here. 42, 39 passed, and, right, okay, that's fine that, some of them were skipped, but it'd be nice if we actually had to test some of these things that annoyingly keep breaking on us. You know what I didn't do? I didn't start playing any music in the background here. Today, I would love if there was a song called Black, but there isn't. So instead, I'm going to play, this is Purple. Here it comes. No, you know what? I played this just the other day. No, scratch that. Let's play Cyan. I haven't played that in a little bit. Did I fix the shout out already? No, that's what we're going to do right now. I should play Black Hole Sun, says Harcurious. Love that song. Love me some Soundgarden, but no. Yeah, I get a trophy for not having any failed tests. The problem is, I've failed in not writing tests. Black Hole Sun is not from Pearl Jam. Soundgarden. Test. Have you no confidence in your code that when altered in the future will be perfect for all eternity? Well, if it maintains the same API and still does the same thing, should work. Nothing else matters. Actually, random is very difficult because of a fixed number of bits. Yes. It does improve things. It becomes closer to random, more random. Truly random is hard. There we go. Thank you for the follow. Sky VKO 506. Thank you. So, pretty sure Twitch gets unhappy about copyrighted stuff being played without permission. Yes, you're right, Legendary Moo. That's why I play stuff like this, music to code by from our friend Mr. Carl Franklin, because we do have permission to play it. All right, so let's take a look at, right, this is the Stream Tools project, and there's a couple of pull requests here. I think these are all, yeah, this is Dependabot. This is automatically trying to update the version of things, and I don't really care about these right now. So what I'm going to do is open up the project here in Visual Studio. It is right here. And we'll take a look and we'll see if we can do a little bit with writing a test for the shoutout command so that we know it doesn't break and get it back into the mix here. Code without tests is broken code. You just don't know it yet. That's a great point, C17. Yes. Why did I get a message that project wasn't... Oh, crap. What happened there? None of my projects were loaded. Oh, we're gonna have fun today, chat room. I can feel it already.
Oh my.
I know. Operation could not be completed. Project file cannot be opened by the project system because it is missing some critical imports or the referenced SDK cannot be found. Oh. Okay, it's telling me global JSON. Where's the global JSON? I had a global JSON with this. Oh, let's have some fun with this. Right, I thought I had there's global JSON. Global JSON is a file that tells .NET, here's the version that we can use, and it's telling me that version doesn't exist. You're right, it doesn't. I'm at 22400. Now, it's interesting that it failed hard here instead of applying the update. Instead of saying, oh, but I found one that's the patched version, you know? So that bothers me that it didn't, and first off, right, unable to locate the .NET Core SDK. I would like to see a message there that says which .NET Core SDK version you're looking for. And a patch version should be okay. That should be legit. A legitimate update. Like, it's okay to be referencing the 300 version and 400 is available. That should be alright. Let's see if we can reload this now. No, there it goes. Good. Okay, so I can reload these now that it can find that. So, first thing we're going to need to fix here is we're going to need to tweak our DevOps process so that it's using that new .NET task so that it can reference appropriately the version in global JSON for me. Is it troubleshoot night? Nah, not too much. It is odd, lucky number 7, that it didn't allow the minor patch update. That, I would consider that a bug, that it's that strict on taking a patch. Because that's going to give people a lot of headaches if it doesn't accept 22402, 22403, 22404. That's going to be a real problem for folks. I can understand not taking the 3.0 when it's looking for 2.2. I can accept that. But not having an exact match on the SDK, that's going to be a real problem for folks. One man's bug, another man's feature. You're not wrong. Global JSON does not support globbing or version ranges. It doesn't, but patch versions should be acceptable. Minor versions and major version changes, agreed. That's unacceptable. I thought there was a difference between SDKs and runtime version stuff. You're right, Hugo. This is the runtime version, .NET Core 2.2. The SDK is specified over here in global JSON, so I can force the same version of the software development kit that .NET Core uses. Right? This is the tool. This is, right, the command line. Right, when I run .NET at the command line to build, to compile things, and Visual Studio uses the same thing, the version that it's looking for that's specified over here in global JSON needs to match. Or, if you don't have a version specified here, it'll just grab whatever the latest version is that's on your machine. It's possible. You can do that. And I could technically turn this off, right? I could push this to the 3.0. Right? I could do that, and everything should build because it's still referencing the .NET Core 2.2 version of runtime. Right? This is the difference between my tool being a certain version and my runtime being a different version. You can crisscross those. So... thank you, Goran Hal, for... I need your mailing address, not your email address. So, here we go. So, see, everything builds properly. So we're good with that, right? And you know what? I'm going to leave that the way... I don't want to leave it with that. I want to leave it on the 2.2 version. Because that's an RC version. It's going to go out of support here very soon. Yes, Goran Hell, you did win. Yes. All right. So, Devil Dog Tech Nerd, glad you stayed home today. Do I have a calendar schedule? Mr. Progfather, thanks so much for this sub. Let me come to the question here in a second. Thanks so much for the sub, and we'll make a donation to Coder Dojo. I really appreciate that, Mr. Progfather. Where was I? A schedule, you can see there's a schedule, what's it called? You know, the schedule widget here just below the video on Twitch. Typically, you'll find me Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, 1400 UTC broadcasting. The LTS version is safest. This isn't an LTS, actually. This is a current version. So a 2.1 would match there, but I'm using a 2.2 runtime, so I got to be at a more recent version. So I'm going to leave that the way it is. This should build and still run properly with the 2.2s. There we go. All right. Good morning, Orgbrat. Here we go. There we go. Everything succeeded. It didn't. Did it actually build everything? Yeah. Okay. I guess it did. So I'm going to go back over here to Azure DevOps. That's me. And let's change the build process first, so that it uses that new .NET Core task. And then let's write our unit test. So I have, see, task version. This is an older task version. Let's do that. Package to install. Let's just say from global JSON. And the working directory, right? This will be, uses the default working directory. So the folder that this resides in is right here, and global JSON's in the root of that, so it'll find it if it's just in the root. So I don't need to say anything there. Okay, good. I'm just going to save that. So now, no, I don't want to rename it. I want to see the current runnings of it. There it goes. So we should see that pick up and use that new information when we send it along. So next thing to do, we need to go find that shoutout command, which is inside of my chatbot. Let's go see if we can fix this chat room. And I'm going to need your help making sure that this is honest and that it's actually behaving properly, all right? So I'm going to go down into shoutout command over here. So you see, and Svava was asking, well, is it the exclamation point S command? It's the SO command. You can see that here on line 21. So we're good with that. It has a 5-second cooldown. And there is a check here. Moderators, VIPs, and broadcasters are allowed to do that broadcast. So if you're a moderator, or if you're a VIP, or you're a broadcaster, this is true. But if you're not one of those folks, that's the exclamation point in the front, exit. You're not allowed. It'll just stop processing at that point. So it's going to go get the right-hand side of the command. So that's everything after exclamation point shout out, exclamation point SO. It's going to drop an @ sign if somebody put it there. If you put in HTTP in the shout out, it's going to drop that. And if it contains a space, it will drop that. So far so good. I'm okay with what's there. And then we're going to try to go using the HTTP client. We're going to go get this RHS test location. Okay. So this is set up. HTTP client factory create client shoutout command. Okay. So this is something where we're actually trying to verify somebody's trying to do a shout out for a streamer that exists. So let's find, there it is. So this is trying to go to API Twitch TV Kraken channels. Do you see the problem here already? I'm waiting for lucky number 7 to go, aha! No, you do need a space. It truncates and it pops off the space in there, Svava. Close. This, I believe, was just deprecated. Yeah, Stelzy, I think you're right. So if I go there, no client ID specified. And if I go to C# Fritz, no client ID specified. If I specify a client ID, and client ID is legit, right? You can share your client ID. That can be public. Where is it? Network. Yeah. Reload. Right? Interesting. It blocked the fetch on the favorite icon. Okay. What I should be able to do here is I should be able to add a header. Right? Edit and resend. I'm going to add a header for client ID, right? As client-ID. So client-ID. And my client ID that I can send along for this is here. That's knowledge base ID for that. Hang on. I don't care about logging. Twitch. Alright, I hid the client ID from in here. Didn't include it. Yeah. Let's do this. Let me go grab... I think... let me do this. I'm going to put up... Hello, I'm back. Because I'm going to go look at my secrets file here. Particularly the one that I'm using for the bot. And I don't want to share all the other things that are in there. You know what I mean? This is just good data hygiene, that I'm not showing you all of my passwords and things. So let me copy that, and I can paste it in here. And it's still telling me, oh, here we go. Come here. I thought there was also a way that I could specify the client ID like this. Something like that. No, doesn't like that. But I tried doing an, right? Edit and resend. If I take that, punch it down here, put a colon in there, right? I want to make sure that this actually does a thing. There it goes. I get a 410, and my response, war never changes, but APIs do. So look at what happened here. Look at what, so the shoutout command worked, but it hit this, and the API changed. So we need to go reroute and go find it. Barry Carlian, welcome, Barry. Thanks so much for joining us. It's great to see you. So, we need to go use the appropriate new API. That's not what I copied. Rats. Dev.twitch.tv docs, and we need to go grab the appropriate version of this. So the unit test would have helped, because what's happening here when I go to the shoutout command, when it does this request right here, it would have failed. Right? So let's write a unit test that executes the execute command here and passes in a faux chat service, and we expect to get this to execute here. Okay? And then we'll go back and we'll apply the appropriate API and make sure this works. How does that sound, chat room? Do you think that'll work?
You have to ask me nicely.
I'm asking you nicely, chat room. Do you like what I'm suggesting here? Write this unit test and then put the appropriate API in to verify that the user shouted out is a real streamer.
What's that?
This is going to be a long day if you're not responding to me here, chat room. Come on, help out. It does become a little bit of an integration test. Yes.
And then?
It doesn't matter. It'll make sure that my shout out command works. You know what I'm saying here? So, it is an integration problem. It is. Yes. When you don't get a success, log it and make the endpoint configurable. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Make that the endpoint in my shoutout command. I can buy that. Sure. So let's take a couple different steps here. Motown Andy. Yeah, let's do that thing. So, this one here, we'll set up a test for this. We'll set up We'll also put a log entry in here so it logs out to my console and I can see that that a invalid response was returned right here. All right, so let's write some unit tests. Unit tests, as you know, are little blocks of code that execute, hopefully during our build process, our continuous integration process, like you saw in Azure DevOps, and tell us if we broke anything as we make changes to our commands and to our code, right? Particularly to this command. Brave Cobra! Yes, indeed. Woohoo, unit test. I don't have my own woohoo sound effect. I need to do that. Brave Cobra, it's so good to see you. We're going to go through this so fast that...
They've gone to plaid.
We're going to go to plaid. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. I'm going to pull this one over here. I've got too many sound effects now. I need another Stream Deck. Can somebody talk to somebody? I need another Stream Deck.
Houston, we have a problem.
I need more buttons. You know? Is that a thing? All right. Stream Deck XL. It's not a bad idea, Hugo. And then I'd have 4 of them here. An XL for all sound effects, another one for more sound effects, and another one that's just, what's it called? Control of the things. I need multiple Stream Deck XLs. Multiple. I'm just that crazy. All right, so let's add a chatbot command test here. So you write a unit test by creating another class. And is there an XUnit template in here? No. Bummer. That would have been cool if there was. All right, so I will call this a shoutout command because that's what we're testing. So we're going to label this as a public class, right? And so we're going to create a method here for the unit test framework to execute. Should shout out C# Fritz, right? In order to make this a unit test, we decorate it with this attribute, this C# attribute that says fact here. And this indicates to the unit test framework, hey, this is a method for you to execute and make sure you don't get any errors coming out of. All right. I thought there was an XUnit template. Yeah. A wall of Stream Decks. Martin. That's an amazing idea. But unfortunately...
It's illegal in 9 countries.
I'll be talking to the folks at Elgato, or Elgato was acquired by Corsair, next week at TwitchCon. And yeah, we need to talk to them about doing some more Stream Deck fun. So Stream Deck is a little console, the little device, piece of hardware that I use here that has all my sound effects configured, all the configuration, so that I can, with one button press, automate OBS, play the fun sound effects, automate all the cool things that I do here. I don't have a Stream Deck command. I need one. Definitely need one. So how do I shout out C# Fritz? Well, what I need to do then is I need to create a shout out command, right? Let me close some of these other things that we don't need. Get rid of this, that, don't need this, don't need that. Okay. So I'm going to create a shoutout command, right? And the shoutout command receives an HTTP client factory. I'm actually going to want a real HTTP client factory passed in there. And because I want to actually let it do this integration. Let it hit that endpoint and figure out, does it exist? So I'm going to create this, and I want to receive this coming back through some sort of a chat service. So how do we create an HTTP client factory? I don't know. Can we just say client factory equals new HTTP client factory? Can I do that? Maybe not. Oh, okay. Fine. Equals HTTP client factory dot create. I can do that. And it's a parameters, an order list of delegating handler instances to be invoked as it travels, blah, 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 whatever. Maybe that'll work. And of course, I'm going to arrange, act, and assert my tests. right? Arrange, we're going to set up what it is we're testing. Act, we're actually going to do the thing that we're testing. Assert, we're going to inspect and make sure that it behaves the way it's supposed to. A Raspberry Pi with buttons, says Alethea Island. No, actually, the Stream Deck is, it's not a Raspberry Pi. It's a little LCD that has buttons on top of it that when the button is pressed, right, does the things. You could do it with a Raspberry Pi, sure. There isn't an XUnit class template, but there is an XUnit project template. Yes. Yes, there is. Is that Tomaji? How could you use one Stream Deck to reconfigure another one in a page kind of way to include more sound effects? That's so meta. I don't know. I like where you're thinking. Tell me more. That's interesting. Profiles. Yes, you can do profiles within a Stream Deck. I want to have all my sounds visible to me. It does have foldering capabilities. It's just it takes me 3 or 4 hops to get from one folder to the next to do that. One Stream Deck to switch Stream Deck profiles on the other Stream Decks. Yes, but I'm still in the multiple button presses then to go find a sound effect. Like, if I had to go find, right, a sound effect, right, so I was over looking at my movie sound effects where I have things like squirrel. If I want to get to my Goldfinger sound effect, I have to go up one, over here, down into another folder.
I expect you to die.
So I'm 2 button presses away from it, and I've got to go find it. That's what's going on with the sound effects. Okay, so I have my client factory. Eventually in here, I'm going to create my system under test, which is the shoutout command. I don't want to call this. Let's call the shoutout command fixture. I should rename it using the tool here. That way it prompts me, or it'll just rename the file for me. So I want a new shoutout command. There we go. I'm going to pass in the client factory. And eventually what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say I'm going to execute the command, and I'm going to I want to pass in a chat service. I don't know what the chat service is. Fake. Let's call this mock chat service. I don't know what that is yet, but it'll be a thing, right? And if it's a mock chat service, it's going to be the object of it. The username, well, we're always going to check C# Fritz because I know he's a user. And the right-hand side, that's the user who's executing this. That's fine. And the right-hand side of the command is going to be C# Fritz. So it doesn't know what this is. Why isn't it allowing that to be passed in? Cannot convert from HTTP client to HTTP client factory. Wait, that created a client. Oh. Well, can I do this then? Can I do that? No. Thank you so much for the follow. Is that Rubes? Welcome. Mock the client factory as well. No, see, I want to actually make the connection out. I actually do want to do. Mock it and set it up with the HTTP client. Oh, I see what you're saying there, Brave Cobra. Wait a sec. Stop. Stop.
Strange things are afoot at the Circle K.
You have no idea what you're dealing with.
Fierce Kittens has arrived. We're trying to fix my shoutout command that doesn't work here in the chat room. We're trying to get this fixed here real quick by writing a unit test to expose that it's hitting an API endpoint that's been discontinued. We're going to fix that so that this unit test works and ensures that our command works every time we compile, we deploy a change, and we'll update the bot here real quickly. Because the factory is configured with add HTTP client in the service collection. So, there we go. Yeah, so we'll mock that out then, right? So shoutout command takes an HTTP client factory. All right, so we will create a mock one of those. Mike Eaton, holy crow!
Mike_Eaton just resubscribed for 14 months. The best 14 months of my life.
Now, Mike's just saying that because he's had an amazing 14 months at work, and he's gotten a promotion, and he's doing some amazing things over there. He's not saying that because he's here, right?
You're about to get a serious beatdown.
That's what happens when you're on Mike's throat punch list. We need a link to the throat punch list. Does anybody have that? Something like that, right? All right, so let's do this. I'm going to create a constructor here to create this mock HTTP client factory so that we can give it the HTTP client that we want. So we're going to need a mock repository. I always like to create a mockery. New mock repository, right? So I have that, and I can do this to create that as a read-only field. Why don't you like this? Oh, the client behavior. Right. Default. I wish it would just default to default. You know? I like that command, Calvin. That's a good idea. Congrats on an awesome 14 months. Right? CJ Aliaga.
CJ Aliaga just resubscribed for 12 months.
Thank you so much. Who are you going to get to use GIFbot? Oh, come on. You do have it compiling. It's a wonderful thing it compiles. And Johnny Nibbles.
Johnny Nibbles just resubscribed for 7 months.
CJ Aliaga with a year. Tremendous. Thank you so much. You're going to get a propeller on your follower hat. And Johnny Nibbles, thanks so much for that. We'll make more donations now to Coder Dojo. So I've created my mockery. I need to create my HTTP client factory. So I'll just create a client factory equals, right? New, is it new mock? Right? For HTTP client factory. So now I've got an HTTP client factory, and we're gonna fake that out. We're gonna say client factory setup. Right? All right. So when the factory has create client and it is any string. Right, so when we say create client, I don't care what it's requested. We're going to return a new HTTP client. Now here's where I've got to actually specify because hang on, this is going to get dicey here, friends. The setup for that specifies the API endpoint is here. Oh boy. Oh boy. Are there any VODs from start on this project? Yes. Yes, there are. You can find them all on the YouTube channel. JF vs. Luis, thank you so much for the host. Am I the Wolfman Jack on Twitch? The beard is similar. No. Not in the least. Why am I doing it like this when you can just do a go check out and follow target ID over at, which is within the IRC network? I wanted to check to make sure that they were actually streaming, that they were actually a stream here, is what I was using. So, and the VODs for this are all over that channel because I bounced in and out of the project. So that URI being configured here, that's a problem. Yes, Rubes. A lot of folks in this room are experienced developers. You can ask questions, and there's folks that will be able to answer you here. There's also a Discord for the channel you can check out where folks are chatting over there as well. Might need to make the API base URI more global. See, the bug is over here in configure services. You know? Let's move this. I know it's wrong right now. Let's move it there. So that, right, we know where, that it's somewhere that we're testing so we can identify it and fix it, right? So we're just going to return a new HTTP client, and we're going to specify the client ID that goes with that. Let me put some carriage returns in here so it's a little bit easier to read. Because if there's one thing that I hate, it's code that I can't read. Why did I do that? There we go. Not base address. Ooh. It was default request headers. Yeah. Let's do this then. Client equals new HTTP client. So then I can say client dot default request headers add client dash ID, and then I need to give it the client ID, which I had over here. Oh boy, close that. It was over here. Go back one more. There it is. Okay. And I don't mind hard coding it there. It's the client ID that can be shared. Okay. So, client factory setup. And instead of doing this, I'll return client. Okay. So then I'll return, when I create it, I'll say return my fake HTTP client factory, but the object, so that when it requests an HTTP client here, as it's doing right there, create client, it'll actually return the one that I created, the one that I'm making up for it to use. Okay. So now I need a chat service, a mock chat service to act like, to behave, to be our substitute Twitch to inspect and interact with. Let me take a look at the chat room before we go in and start mocking out what the Twitch chat looks like. Kron Kriz, struggling to get from beginner to an intermediate level. Understood. Please feel free to ask questions here. If there's something that I'm building and then walk. If there's something that I'm building or working through here that you want to learn more about, please ask a question in the chat room. Other folks there can help answer it. I'll stop every few minutes here and take a look, and maybe there's something I can help out with as well. Finding things to keep you interested, trying new things. Yes. Oh, yes. How can you join a team in Twitch, or this one in particular, asks Rubes. So, the Live Coders team, we look for folks that are affiliates, that have a positive, outgoing attitude on their channel. Gosh, that would disqualify Fierce Kittens right away, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it?
Alrighty then.
It might. And that is interested in being a little bit more of a teacher, that talks through things with the chat room, engaging, and wants to help the folks that are out there. There are some features needed, some bugs to resolve. Yep. Wouldn't it be easier to extract the code into an extension method on iService collection and use that within your test? That's a lot of... Maybe. Sure, something like that could work. I would code if Visual Studio stuff actually worked 20% of the time, says Fierce Kittens. Wow. It's been bugged since June. I think it's fixed. Let's talk through that. Let's get that working. I think what you're looking for is fixed. We're almost there. Tom Thunder Forest asks, will there be a colorful beard next week? No. We didn't hit 8,000. There will not. Sorry. Go ahead. Spend 10 minutes looking for a corny... That's right. I'm going to look for my corny sound effects here because they're amazing. We've improved them. We've got full control here from the Stream Deck. I've got all the corny sound effects. It's amazing. All will be solved on Monday. Maybe. Hopefully. Legendary Moo asks, isn't my talk at TwitchCon about developing against the Twitch API? This might serve as a great example of why you make unit tests in case the API changes on you. You're not wrong. That's a good idea. All right, so let's mock out the chat service. So the chat service, right? So let's create one of those up here. New mock iChat. So this is this is an interface that we defined that specifies what a chat service looks like that we're integrating with. And it has these properties, it has some events that we can listen for, and it has some methods down here that we can execute, right? And when we integrate with Twitch, we're going to be receiving messages, we're going to be receiving information when a user joins or when a user leaves the channel. We want to know when those things happen. And as a bot that's listening on the channel, we have these 5 different things we can do. We can send messages, we can send whispers, private messages to folks. We can time out users, we can ban users, and we can unban users. Full disclosure, you can look at the source code. All the source for this is completely available on my GitHub, !GitHub in the chat room, and you can get the link to that. The bot right now is not configured to ban and unban users or timeout folks. We were expecting, when we added some of the artificial intelligence features around the automatic image detection and the automatic link detection, if you went to an image, if you linked an image that was deemed racy or an adult image, we would ban you. Give you like a 5-minute ban or something, or a timeout, something like that. But we never wired that up. But the feature is there for us to build. So for our chat service we're going to mock out doesn't need to do that much. It just needs to be able to send a message. So I'm just going to create a mock chat service. And so I have that available over here. And I'm going to set up my mock chat service. I'm going to set up to expect a command to send message async. Now I think I have to do that. Is it set up async? No, just set up. Okay. Send message async and a message that's going to be sent. Well, I expect to at least see some message that says please follow C# Fritz, because that's what I'm passing in here. So let's just grab that text, copy it, and I'm going to cheat and hard code this. And it's not even that, it's is, right, is? Can I do it is, and now I can do a test. S dot starts, can I do S dot starts with? Come on. It is a string, starts with that text. Okay, so I've set up this expectation that this is going to occur. So now this is chat service. And I see Fierce Kittens is there mocking me in the chat room. I'm going to look at that just a second. Chat service, verify. Right? I'm going to verify. Make sure that this thing occurred. Now, why don't you like that over there? Because it needs to be a read-only memory. Okay. To Carray. Can we do that? There we go. This way it's a span and it uses less memory. Mock. Yes, Calamity Badger. I am being mocked mercilessly over there. So who made the Twitch team? I did. Yep. Amazing. You keep using that word. Well, hang on. I do keep using that word. I use that word a lot. It's here somewhere. It's in my insults. No, it's not. This one.
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
That's right. Let's see. Any place you can speak to me? Yes, Discord. I'm very active on Twitter. You're working unlike some people. This is working for me. This is how I work. Totally working. I agree, Svava. There's Svava. Okay, Fierce Kittens. Yeah, right?
I love it when a plan comes together.
Here we go. So this now compiles. All my red underlines are gone. Now I can actually execute this and see if it does connect and we get this message coming out. So let's do it. Let's run the test. This is why am I not getting my test run doodad appearing there? Let me go to my test explorer. So this is available inside of Visual Studio. It'll show you your tests. It's going to build and show me the tests that are available. Yep, I didn't put a project command together today. Yep, not working. So it's going to show me, here's a list of all the tests. There it is. See this little gadget here? It'll tell you, it'll give you a green check or a red X if it's properly run or not. I can click this and run the test right here, or I can run all of my tests over here in the Test Explorer. I only care about this one right now, so I'm just going to force this one to run. And we'll see what happens here. The new Test Explorer always seems to give you trouble, says Death Packs. Interesting. Okay. So we're trying to fix our shoutout command. It hasn't been working in chat. Let's menu. And what we're trying to do is put together a quick unit test to verify that it is working. And look at that. I've got, right? There it is. Red X. Right? So the first thing in writing a test is always, well, make sure it actually fails appropriately, right? Because if the test never fails, how do you know it's actually written correctly? And, well, that's a problem. I'm running the wrong execute. What? I have two... Oh, I need to pass in is moderator, is all that other stuff. Okay. So the username who's executing this, are they a moderator? No. Why isn't that wrapping around? I think the next one is VIP, and then the next one is broadcaster. I think that's the order of them. So, yes, that would need to be awaited. I'm not. No, I don't want to configure a wait. Get awaiter, get result. Okay. So now I should be able to see that run properly. Try it again. Every so often, Test Explorer breaks and need to delete your temp folder to get it working again. Yes, I have seen that. Ncrunch, that's another great tool, John Calloway, that does very similar. Yep, Ncrunch does the same thing Visual Studio does as live unit testing. Here's a problem. It ran properly. The test itself can be an async test. Sure, right, I could do it like this, and I could get rid of that and say wait on this, and run that again. This should have failed. There were build errors. No. Get my using statement in there. This should have failed. Why didn't it fail? Oh, wait a sec. I set this up, make it verifiable. Right, and I need to be able to say, it's not even a setup. Right, I expect that, right? No, I do want it as a setup, okay. Right, I thought there was a way to specify the number of times it's called. Verify, yeah, that it was run, okay. Try running that again. So, because I want this to happen there. It's a parameter on verify? The parameter on verify was the error message. There it goes. Mock failed verification due to the following. The setup was not matched. There we go. So it didn't actually call this. Now let's go back. Now let's go put in the log messages coming out of this. Right? It's always important to have a log. Yes, it's log. So I'm going to receive an iLogger here. Right? Do I want to receive an iLogger or iLogger factory? No, just a logger. It's fine, right? That's all I want. So I can receive that. Store a copy of our logger so that we can put some messages out there somewhere when bad things happen. Right, and this should still build because it creates this. Yeah, there we go. Build succeeded. Good. So now, if this fails, don't just return. Log warning. And we'll say, unable to verify enable to verify shout out for, and then whoever the shout out is, which will be RHS test. So now we should get that information written out to the log. But over here, when I'm actually doing this, I can't just do that thing. I need to actually write out that. Thank you, Hugo, for setting the project. I appreciate that. So if you're verifying it worked, you use verify instead of setup. Well, you put the verify after the setup, right down here when I'm actually doing the check. So I need to pass a logger in here that's going to receive that message and do something with it. In XUnit, you can write that out. You can't write it out to the console. What is it in XUnit that you can write it to? You create something that'll write it out. I forget how to do that with XUnit. Right? How does that work? XUnit logging? I forget how to do this. Capturing output. Yes, I'd love to capture output. I test output helper. That's what I'm looking for. Right? This. So let's do that. Back over here in the construction of this, receive one of those. Good. So I'm going to have a new mock. Oh no. This isn't going to be fun. Create a read-only one of these. What do you mean typo? No. Private read-only mock iLogger. Logger. Why didn't it let me generate that? There's a lot to set up for this. I'm going to create a method to just hide all this in one place. We also need to save the output doodad. Output equals output. And we'll stash a copy of that. Okay, so I can properly log it so that, what's it called? XUnit will output it into my output, right? So logger, yeah. Set up, particularly I'm looking for that log warning. It is any string. I don't care what it is. Callback. I'm gonna say go call this instead. Yeah, here we go. So instead we're going to, right, I've got one argument coming over, I think. I'm going to say output right line, whatever that string is. Right, because that S is, it doesn't know what that is. Why don't you know what that is? Yeah, call back with a string. There we go. If we need to set up anything more, we can do it in there. So now down in here, we'll pass our logger object. So now it should log appropriately. Hey, I didn't get an endpoint from there. I should see that error message coming out. Let's see here. Protopoly.com, good to see you. Pretty common to lurk. Yeah, it is common to lurk on coding streams. Nothing Else Matters asks, what is the thinking of the original coder writing tests to their own code? In production, is there best practices? So if you write your tests in a way that's non-destructive, that uses mock objects like this so that it's not actually touching a database or touching the network and doing any kind of modifying, any mutating commands, you should be able to take your DLLs that contain your tests into a production environment and run them against production and make sure nothing changes. Unsupported expression, slog warning. You make me sad. May not be used in setup verification expressions. Oh, it's Oh, no. The log warning is an extension method. And it won't let me do that. So... Alright. I'm gonna have to do this the hard way. What was it? What is it? test output helper. And I'm going to create an initialize field. Thank you. And I'm going to implement this. And, oh dear God. You're kidding me, right? I didn't want, oh dear God. Why does it have to be so difficult? Yeah, right? No need to mock the logger because I wanted to use the test output helper. But I'm looking at this and like, are you kidding? Because there is no exception coming through. Why is this so hard? I mean, honestly. XUnit mock iLogger. There's got to be a way to do this. How to unit test with iLogger? Please, somebody give me something here. Mock.of iLogger. The logging abstraction package to use iLogger of T. Whatever. No. You can pass the null logger. I actually want to get the message and redirect it to output so I can see it. Create unit test. Mock repo. Get list blog. Controller. New blog controller. Underscore logger. New XUnit logger. This. Begin scope. Fantastic. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Brilliant! Create one of these. I don't care what the class name is because I'm going to rename it as soon as I paste in the deal. Right? Hello? Thank you. Yes, I need my using statement. I need that using statement. But I want you to rename... No. You make me sad, Visual Studio. I would like to be suggested that. No. Okay. So now over here... Not there. And this thing I can get rid of. Somebody should put that XUnit logger into a... put this into a NuGet package. Know what I mean? Hey, thanks for the follow, Rogue Fox 58. Welcome. TDD was a little over the top for Ultramark. Used to create little console apps to test libraries. Yes! I used to do something similar. So I don't need this anymore. Don't need that. I can get rid of this, actually. And I can say the logger equals new XUnit logger. Well, what's the XUnit logger? Output. What's the type that you're passing in there? iLogger of type T. Okay. I don't have a type of T for this. Right? So that, where does that T pop up? It does not pop up anywhere else. So can I just ignore that? Can I do that? No. Whatever. Shout out command. Can I do that? Can I convert? Oh, right. Don't need this. And this can just be an iLogger. Like that. Right? Good. So this can just be like this. And let's see if my test works. Run. Do the thing. Built successfully. That's a good start. There is an XUnit logger. Nice. Build succeeded. Come on. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Alright. Mock failed verification. Setup was not matched. Open additional output for this result. Don't mind if I do. Unable to verify shoutout. Fantastic. Okay. So I have the log working and that it's properly not doing the shoutout. Next step. Let's go find the right endpoint for that. And actually swap in the appropriate endpoint. So that... Right, so I was going to Kraken's channel, blah, 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 blah. Let me go back into this, do this one more time, where I'm going to edit the headers, get rid of that, put it down here as this, change that, and send, and I do get a response, and the response that I get is, war never changes, but APIs do. dev.twitch.tv docs, which, okay, really? Dev Twitch TV docs. Why didn't that copy? I did a Control C. You saw the Control C in the corner, and it didn't pop up there. Ah, Simon Krupp put together the XUnit logger. Nice. You use NUnit at work. This is super useful. NUnit actually captures the console directly, so that's pretty good. All right, so I'm looking for not authentication, not a chatbot. No. Well, I'm not looking at an extension. I want to look at the API and figure out how to verify that somebody's a Twitch streamer. Weather Developer, thank you for the follow. It's great to see you. Thanks so much for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you in the chat room. There we go. Gets more information about the most active streams for game ID. No. I want to look for... I specifically want to look for somebody's stream, verify they actually exist. So nobody can shout out, you know, nobody can shout out Donald Trump and see if it works. No, it doesn't exist. Get streams. Get information about active streams. Well, I want to get information about a channel. Get users. Get information about one or more specified Twitch users. Yes. Users are identified by optional user IDs and or logger name. Hey. Alright, so let's do that. So API, Twitch TV, Helix, users, and we can pass along an ID that's a string, that's the user ID, that number. No. We're going to pass along their login. Okay. So we're going to change the URL to this, and it's going to be login. Alright. So I'll go back over to my shoutout command, and we're going to keep an eye on this. My test works. I don't need to change the test now. I know the test knows what works and what doesn't work. So my base address is now this. And when I do the search, I'm going to get async. Right, let's do this. And it's, how did we format it? Login equals, there we go, so you can see. Login equals the string that was passed in. So now we should be able to do that verification because it's hitting the appropriate endpoint. So I'll rerun my test and it'll execute all these things and hopefully we'll get it to verify and send that. There we go, finished compiling. It's executing the test now and still doesn't work. Setup was not matched and there was no additional output. Okay, so we're a little bit further along at this point. This tells me that I don't have the verify running properly. I'm going to go back over here and let's put a breakpoint right there and see what happens. I'm going to actually debug this. It would be nice if it didn't build, since it knows that I didn't change my code. You're interested in intercepting logging. Ooh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. So now I should see this hit my breakpoint right here after it tries to verify C# Fritz here. Come on. Let's go. There it is. So the result that was returned was okay. Fantastic. So, right, and actually, if I can dig in further on that request message, I should be able to look at the content. The headers, I can go dig in further and get the response. Don't need to. So if I step through, now it's going to call chat service, send message async, please follow C# Fritz at blah, blah, blah. And what's happening is, right, it's saying, right, the verify is coming back and saying, well, that didn't happen. Send message any async, it is string, starts with please follow C# Fritz. Well, the setup was not matched. What do you mean the setup was not matched? Of course it was matched. Hey, Lord ABG, welcome. What are we building right now? So we're trying to fix a problem with my shoutout command that my chatbot uses. And then we're going to roll over to some... we might not have enough time. The string is different. Well, it's a starts with. It is string starts with. This should verify because it's not it is any or it is a specific. We're doing a check here that the string passed in starts with that. So I'm going to go back over here. Let's make sure that I'm doing this properly. If it was an exact match on the string, I would agree with you, Brave Cobra, but it's not. Don't you have to pass something to the verify method? You can pass the error message to the verify method. So I have an at in the command. Oh, you're right. Right, okay, so I've done this, you're right. The command is passing at in front of it. Oh my gosh. So now that should work. Right, we should get it hitting that. Trying to deploy first ASP.NET MVC5 application database. Congratulations. Could someone from chat help a few questions? Thanks in advance. We have a Discord service. You can execute the Discord command and join that. And there's a whole bunch of folks hanging out there that can help you out. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to talk through and get to that today. Marcus!
Marcus Voice Programmer just resubscribed for 2 months.
Thank you so much, Marcus. I appreciate that. And I'll make a donation to Coder Dojo. Thank you for the follow, Lord ABG. And our code test, it passed properly. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. AZ, welcome. Appreciate you following us. And look forward to seeing you in the chat room. So our test passed. It works. It uses things properly, and we're through. I'm appropriately getting data from this, and our shoutout command should work now. Let me commit these changes and get it up into GitHub. Where is this? Stream tools. There it is. And the files that are changed, there's my global JSON. I brought in xunit logger, my new shoutout command fixture. Yeah. And at some point we should probably be able to swap out that API endpoint. So I'm going to commit, fixed the shoutout command to use the Twitch Helix endpoint. And I'll sign that commit. There we go. Wait a sec. I thought I added everything. Oh, I didn't. I spelled amend wrong. Yep, good. Now I'll push up those changes. So I got the whole thing there. Weather developer. Yes, I am from Pennsylvania. The Keystone State. Philadelphia. All right. So that just went. I should be able to go to my pipeline and I should see the integration happen here. From Erie, great to see you. Even though way on the other corner of the state, it's fantastic to have another Pennsylvanian here in the chat. Just thinking, should we be using trim before starts with to make sure of lingering spaces? I'm okay with that. Will Azure DevOps allow outgoing HTTP requests for the chat? Let's find out. Why isn't this running? Do the thing. Hello. There it goes. Now it's building. Thank you for the follow. Is that Alexandro? Welcome. All right, so we changed out our use.NET Core SDK. That succeeded. Good. And it's going to go do all my restores. I'm particularly interested about the test down here. Make sure that it hits that test, runs the test, and passes. Let's see what happens. You've asked your question in the Discord channels. Thank you so much. Yes, TBD Gamer, I am so patient. So patient. I will sit and I will wait and let it just wash over me.
You got the wrong guy. I'm the dude, man.
I'm the dude. Anyways, let's see what's going on here. Go ahead, come on, finish the restore. Let's go. Darn Skippy. Indeed, Copperbeardy. Oh, yeah. Come on, do the installs. And I'm realizing it doesn't, I would have to turn that but it would be on the other side. Like, the G Fuel logo on this, it's upside down. There's no way for me to drink from this such that you can see the G Fuel unless I was facing that way and it was on the other. Yeah, it's weird. Thank you for the follow, Sanitarium. Welcome. Hey, Ed Charbonneau is here. Hello. Good to see you. Had a great conversation with Mr. Charbonneau there. He's another one of the live coders. You can follow him. Yeah. You'll be able to follow him on... we'll be able to shout out in just a second. Not yet, Hugo. Not yet. Here we go. It's running the test. We should see it run... that HTTP client should work. Should. Is it built yet? I didn't add it in to the running bot yet. Come on. Doing the test executions. Oh, that's ugly. I don't like the looks of that. Thank you for the follow, Zoragris. Welcome. 9 errors. Uh-oh. What else did I break here? Regular stream service with various... Oh, boy. Alright. Let's go back to my code. Let's run all the tests. I shouldn't have broken anything else. I know. Sad trombone indeed. Right? Where'd it go? Sad trombone. There it is. So, but that's okay. How many sub hats? So many sub hats in chat. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fantastic to see that. There we go. So my startup now, these tests aren't working. Why aren't they working? Let's take a look at the message. Hey. I want to be able to... You make me very angry there, Test Explorer. Come here. I'm going to put you down here so I can read it. There we go. Register stream service with various configurations. Unable to resolve service for type iLogger while attempting to activate shoutout command. Because we didn't register it in our test. Okay. So... new configuration builder. Add singleton for the logger factory. So I need to add into these a null logger, or even the XUnit logger. Right? Service collection. Add transient, because I don't really care. XUnit logger. Oh, it's gonna want to type. Can I do it like that? Can I do it like that? Nope, doesn't like it. Shoutout command. I'll kind of force the issue there. That should work. But I need to do that for all of these tests that I broke. Right? Not just this one, but here. And here. And these should be fixed. There were only 3 broken tests, and there were these 3. I could come through and say just run the broken tests in the unit test and be able to see that. I'm already sending in an iLogger factory. I could receive an iLogger factory instead, sure. Sure. Test run finished. Still failed. The test has multiple result outcomes. What? Unable to resolve iLog. Okay. Do I do it like that? The other one over here. And this one. That's the one I already fixed. So now I can choose run just the failed tests. Is this using live unit test? No. Nope. Didn't turn that on. I could have. Didn't. Would have helped a little bit with some of this, I think. Unable to resolve service for type I test output helper while trying to activate test XUnit logger. See, that's annoying. I'm just going to turn this to null logger. Not that one. That one. Yeah. Because I'm not... here. Try that one more time. Let's see what happens. Come on, finish those tests. Yes, Andy, this is G Fuel. It's delicious. A suitable constructor for... Are you kidding? Could not be located. Really? Really? Instant... Oh, it's a singleton, that's why. Okay. And I need to give it... Right. Not the implementation factor. I want to give it just the implementation. Right, can I do this? And... Yeah, there we go. Say null logger dot instance. Right, that should work. Over here. Let's see, here we go. Malmo in Sweden. Nice. Yeah, I don't do much international travel anymore. I don't have a lot of demand for it, and it's a little bit easier to reach folks from here. Oops. Didn't paste that last one in. Try that one last time. Here we go. And there we go. Fantastic. So I'll run everything one last time. Make sure the whole thing's something. The meatballs. Can't eat them. Gluten. So that's a thing. There we go. All 40. 0 failures. Ship it. Fixed references to logger in unit tests. So, there we go. Push that. Head back over to Azure DevOps. And we should have this all working properly. There we go. It's building now. While that's going, right, this should start properly. Make sure this starts properly. I didn't do anything. You make meatballs with Parmesan instead of breadcrumbs. I use panko when I make breadcrumbs. I use panko breadcrumbs when I make meatballs here at the house. Won't anyone think of the poor, poor lingonberries? I think of them all the time when I'm down at my local IKEA. Unable to resolve... Are you kidding? So my tests work, but it won't run because of that. Because I'm receiving an Who was it who said we should be using an iLogger factory here? Rats. In which case, I can't just receive that thing, right? I'm going to have to say create logger. Right? Which creates an iLogger instance. I need to give it a category name. Name of shoutout command. Okay, so now I've got that. What I'm going to do, I need to go back over now to my... I don't want to just create a new XUnit logger. I'm going to create a new... I need to, like, stub this. Little E Blaster, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us. I want to create a... Right, can I say mock of iLogger factory? Ooh, wait a sec. No. New mock iLogger factory, right? Logger dot. Wait a sec. Oh, this is var this logger. Let's do this. So now I can say this logger dot setup the factory f dot create logger it dot is any string. I don't care what's requested. Dot oh no, that's the setup. Returns. There we go. And now I can say logger equals... Oh, this needs to be an iLogger factory. Factory equals this logger. Dot object, right? So I get it to pass that along. And let's make sure that works. Giving your expression trees talk. Oh, nice. Nice. Pseudo kid. You'll be able to pick out all the live coders at TwitchCon because of the epic jerseys. So last night I spent a good 2 hours. I had 50 jerseys spread out on my living room floor, and I was packing them up into swag bags to hand out to our friends, the live coders at TwitchCon, and to mail out appropriately. But our friend Ed there, I saw last week, and he already got his jersey. because I saw him in person. So that looks like it ran properly. If I run this now, it should start up and run properly. And I will get that loaded up. You have an urgent problem with MVC 5. Sorry, I can't get to that just yet. There we go. That started properly. So it is asked in Discord is what they're saying. So that looks like it's working. Good. All right. One more commit here. Fixed logger factory usage. Git push. And if we check back over here, my tests all succeeded the last time, right? Because it includes now the tests to do the push and execute my my shoutout command, make sure that works. So we should see this run one more build here, right there. I'm going to put this into its container because I actually run this out of a container here. So I'll look at my tags, so I make sure I grab the latest tag. It'll be 1.16.1, it looks like. Right? Yeah. Okay. So, what is it? I have a build command here, 1.16.1, and that'll build my container here. And I'll be able to restart it, and we'll have the shoutout command working again on the chat room. So let's see this finish building, and I'll restart the bot, and everything should be happy, and
boom goes the dynamite.
Ed says the jersey is awesome. Long story to tell the wife, though. She's not in tech. She's not in fitness, so it's all weird to her. Oh, that's nice. J Sharp asks, I got a question about TDD. Wondering if writing a unit test for a simple interface with two methods that just returns Boolean is appropriate. Well, you're not going to write a test for the interface. You're going to write a test for the concrete implementation of that interface. If it's a piece of logic that you want to make sure works properly all the time, you're going to want to write unit tests for those. So this is interesting. Compatible SDK for the global JSON version is not available. What's the version I'm referencing here in my Docker file? Where's the Docker file? There it is. SDK 2.2 as base. Oh, here we go. This is what I get for crossing the streams. Yes, the container registry. I want to know what's in the public container registry for .NET Core. Can I do that? Does that actually go somewhere and I can look at it? No. Are you kidding? All right. Hub, docker.com. That's fine. Search for great content. Don't mind if I do. .NET. I want to find the .NET ones. Azure Functions. Okay, seriously? Why isn't .NET the first one here? Thank you for the follow, Kanish. 22300 instead of 22401. It's not specified here. In the Docker file, in my global JSON that I passed, right? 22401 in source global JSON. That's the version it should be looking for. Because it's right there. So, .NET Core runtime, .NET Core. I think, right, I'm running ASP.NET and SDK. So let's look in the SDK one. This one. Okay. 2.2, this one. And it doesn't tell me what version's in there. Okay. So what version is in there? 22402. And because it's not matching identically... Are you kidding? Are you kidding? I mean, seriously? No. On DevOps, actually, the name is wrong. The name is changed. Right, it did build properly. Fantastic. The name over here on DevOps now says... It says use .NET Core. Let's just say use .NET Core SDK, because I have this change now to pull whatever version is inside of global JSON. Change name of SDK task. Right. So, and these are using the 2, so it should be just fine with those. Good. So, because I'm not using the exact same version number, it's throwing a fit. Like, are you kidding? So, .NET Restore didn't run. Yeah, this is a, right, push refers to, so it didn't actually build, right? All of the build tasks in here didn't run because it's 22402 inside of there. That annoys the crap out of me. Right? Can I just make this 22 star? Can I do that? I know we were saying there's no globbing there. Right, is that going to come back? No, it came back with 30100. Right, that global JSON, it ignored. So global JSON, I should be able to pin the version that I'm using here, and it will not pick it up. It needs to be an exact version. I don't have 402 installed. So now it's throwing a message on my machine because I don't have that version installed. Roll forward to framework version. Are you kidding? List runtimes, list SDKs, and I can't tell it to go get a version of this. Did I pull .NET Core before build? It pulls it every time. Hey, Acrophobic Pixie, good to see you. Yes, .NET did move to the Microsoft Container Registry. Yeah, so I'm getting clobbered here because I don't have the right version of .NET Core SDK installed. There is no way on Windows for me to cleanly go get the .NET Core SDK unless I go out here to .NET/download. I don't know what changed that suddenly that sliding patch version is not allowed. But I find that terribly frustrating. This release is not compatible with Visual Studio 2017. Well, I'm not using that version. So I need to go download and install the 402 version. Oh, dear Lord. Brave Cobra has a link for us to a GitHub issue here. Make global JSON SDK version support min-max or wildcards. Yes! Literally, chat room, I've spent a half hour just fighting this issue because I'm using a version of the SDK that doesn't exactly match something. This version isn't available over here. That version isn't available over there. It's not in this Docker container. So I have to download and get it to exactly match, even though it's a patch version. Literally, the behavior that the .NET team wants is to encourage you to use the latest patch versions. So I would love to be able to say use the latest patch version of these things. There we go. Not all latest 2.2 SDKs are available. Yeah. Now I'm getting clobbered because of that. So I think this is an issue that I want to raise up with the team and say, let's discuss this further, because trying to get this lined up, and I know where to go to find these things. I know how to handle these. This has got to be frustrating for some folks who are new to .NET. Could I please try to pull the Docker file reference 2.2, not a patch version? Well, sure. Right, if I go back over here... Right, if I pull, not 2.2 Bionic, I don't want the ARM32 tags. I just want the Linux one. Right, I should be able to just pull 2.2. So, right, so the request is, can you pull it? Get the latest version of it. So I will go, my Docker file that I want to get is that. Let me get the SDK version. This. So Docker pull, and that's going to go out and get from the Microsoft Container Registry that appropriate SDK version. Now it's telling me it's getting a new one. Yeah, we'll grab the ASP.NET one. So extracting that first bit here, we're still getting more of these. Gee, I wonder, am I using a lot of network resources? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. Look forward to seeing you in the chat room. Oh my gosh, and Tensionado, thank you for the follow. Let's see here. Come on, finish down. Why did it stop? There we go. Oh my gosh, thank you for the follow. Is that Kellogg's? Is that Kellogg's? Thank you so much for joining us. Let's see here. Just keeping an eye on things. Yeah, my YouTube's slow. What's going on? Well, they're not home. So, we're okay, the Fritz kids. There we go. And these images are actually a lot smaller in 3.0. They're compressed down. We don't need as much. Mo Babo says, this is why I need a huge chunk of time when I do programming. Stuff like this always happens and I end up sidetracking. Yes. You know what? You're right. You end up running into these things and... Squirrel! You get completely sidetracked. Okay. So let me pull the ASP.NET Core one. Make sure I have the latest version of that. And we'll run this through. Welcome, Kellogg's. It's good to meet you. Appreciate you joining us here. So we'll get the latest version of these containers so that we can have our application running in a little unit here that we can push around, right? So I didn't install the new .NET version. Let me try to rebuild. See what happens. So this little build script will tag everything appropriately, go through and run .NET Restore and do all the things. That might actually be running properly. There we go. Now it is running properly. Cool. All right, I feel better then. Because of how the Docker tags work, referencing and pulling in the various versions. Or does it have multiple versions of the SDK in it? Raziel Descartes says, I surely will have a rainbow beard this time. So that's for November. I don't know why the ends date isn't there, but we're looking for, I think it's November 1st, if we get to that. So we've got about a month and a half here to pull in another 200 followers. Thank you for the follow. Is that Suriatin? Thank you. And we'll dye the beard rainbow. And every 100 followers we cross, we'll give away a sticker pack. Pack of .NET stickers, rainbow bearded stickers. The Super C# sticker is in there. All kinds of cool stuff. New York 167. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see. Come on. Finish this push. Let's go. Jeff wants to run the bot, make sure we get a shout out working, and call it a day. You know what I mean? We didn't get to Blazor today, but that's okay. We fixed an issue. We wrote a unit test to expose an integration problem that we were having with the Twitch API. I'm going to commit that. Right? What did I change? I can run git diff and it will show me the change. I changed the SDK version here. No. Let's just drop that back one. That should still work, right? Should still work? Sunnerganol! Hello, hello. Oh, we've been having a great stream today. Docker tags aren't deterministic, so that if they retag an image with 2.2, because I'm not using a specific all the way down to the version number. I see. This should build quickly because a lot of the stuff that I've put into it are already built and exist and work. So these intermediary steps should still work just fine. If it ever gets there. We're waiting. Some Blazor? No. Not gonna get to it today. I've got to run. I've got a meeting in about 15 minutes that I need to get to. And lots more prep work for .NET Conf. Lots and lots. It's interesting. The restore didn't pick up. I wonder if it saw the difference in global JSON. And that's why. There's the build running. That should work. I think we're good. I think we're good here. I'll restart the bot here when this is done. Yeah, .NET Publish. That should run pretty quick. There it goes. Why is it restoring again? Right, that's weird that it's restoring again. And building, it looks like. You know? Yep, we'll start the bot just to make sure that it works. And we'll get back. No, that's wrong, Fritzbot. That's a wrong answer. There we go. Alright, let's see if the bot works. So I'm going to kill the bot that's currently running. And I have it sitting out here with a command. Yes. No. I should be able to run that. Thank you for the follow. The Bathrobe Ninja. Welcome. Great to see you. All right, now the bot's running. It's sitting out there doing its thing. Let's try a shout out, and I will shout out Gornhow. There we go. Now the shout outs are working. We got it. And now everything is awesome. I feel so much better about that. That was annoying us for a couple days, and now it works. Fantastic. Thank you so much, everybody. See, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. Not just that, but I shut down the bot, so that's not going to work either. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. This video, like all my other videos, will be available over on YouTube. I have a bunch of videos queued up that I need to move over there. My apologies. So we will get that out there. You know what? You're not going to be able to run... You're not going to be able to run the raid command here in just a second. Let's get that running so you can run the raid command. There it goes. Let's set up for a raid. Let's get ready to go check out what else is going on over here on Twitch. Let me see if there's any of our friends in the live coders that are streaming right now that we can raid. We can set up for... I think... Oh, we just raided him last time. Let me see if there's somebody else here. You know who we haven't raided in a while? We need to raid... You know, we haven't raided Clark.io, and he's learning Python. So let's set up for the... Oh my god, Sausage Cam is here. How could I miss that? Great to see you. Yeah, let's raid Clark.io. Let's put the raid command into chat. If you're a subscriber, that's great. Grab the first line of code that Fritzbot put into chat there. If you're not, that's okay. Copy the second line out. get ready. We're going to announce our presence as we go over and say hello to Clark.io. Brian Clark. He's working with our friend Cecil Phillip, and they're learning a little bit of Python together. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. I will see you tomorrow, same time, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, 1400 UTC. Thank you for all the follows, my Hawkeyes. Appreciate you joining us, but I'm about to raid. Get ready to say hello to Brian Clark, and have a good time over there with some Python. All right, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one.